All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ventures Podcast. In today's episode, I'm going to be walking through the new Airchat by Naval and company. His crew have built a new social network. I've noticed back in the day that Naval was super active on Clubhouse, and then Twitter Spaces came along. I'm always very intrigued by voice. So I've been playing around with this app for a little while, and I'm happy to dive into it. So before we do that, this is a screencast. So if you're listening on your podcast player, which is fine, you can click on the link in the show notes to get to the video. I think it's going to be video in different places. Or if you're watching the video, you can always at any point switch over to listen on your favorite podcast player. You can just search for Ventures, and this podcast should show up. So hopefully, if you're just listening, I'll do my best to describe what I'm showing on the screen here. But but for best experience, go ahead and click and watch this video here. So, okay, Airchat came out, super new, just in the last few days here. Thank you, Gary, for getting me into the application to try it out. I actually loved Snapchat back in the day, kind of that experience, but I was born in 1980, so a lot of my peers were not using that. I'm old enough to be the sort of the pre-internet era, and even social media didn't come until sort of much later in life relative to all y'all that are listening into this. So, but Clubhouse obviously was great. That, for those that aren't familiar, that was sort of the OG rooms that was like a voice-based social media platform, and then sort of Twitter cloned it, and I'm actually not even totally sure what the latest is with Clubhouse, but I don't think it's much of a thing anymore, relatively speaking. So Naval comes out, Naval and his crew. I'm actually not totally certain who's behind it. I just saw Naval tweet about it, and then a bunch of people are jumping on into this new application. And here's, I'll just sort of walk through their slides here in the App Store. Right now, it's just available for those on iOS, but apparently the Android's coming soon. And it's meant to mimic essentially like a dinner party, where there's lots of different rooms, and you can stitch together different little conversations in the room. That's trying to be analogous to attending a dinner party. We'll see how that goes. I think thus far the experiment's pretty intriguing. But yeah, so that uses AI. When you talk, it automatically transcribes, and you can put interesting AI-based photos in there. So it's kind of a neat little take on the whole generative AI movement. There's advanced language translation services that are in there as well, which is a pretty cool feature that different rooms are trying out right now. And so they're basically, trying to get rid of the group call, have asynchronous. I saw a cool room about asynchronous podcasting, which allows you to interact with that audience as you're putting together essentially an episode asynchronously over time. So I think that's actually pretty neat. And then the AI, because it transcribes all of the audio, you can listen to it super fast, or you can just scroll through the text real quick. Which I think is pretty neat. And then you can spin up a room of your own and moderate yourself, and then you can control that experience for folks. Naval's original tweet, where he talked about this, said that that social media tends to be more performative rather than like actually social, the way that if you're just at a dinner party or something. So we'll see how this app performs at making sure that social media is not performative. But then there's sort of private aspects of this. So if you search for Airchat, it'll actually bring you into Naval's page. So it looks like these are all public, and so he has rooms here, and then so each one of these is sort of a string of messages between these different users that are participating, and so I'm just using this right now on the screencast on the web app. So just FYI, a lot of these your chats here are public. So I'd encourage you to go check this out. I'll put links to this so that even if you're on Android or something right now, you can go check it out. But yeah, in general, I've been investing in technology companies for 13, 14 years now. I've been building technology companies for almost 20 years. Um, I've just had such a mixed reaction, as many many of you have, I'm sure, as well, to all things social media. Certain type of character that tends to go pretty bombastic on the Instagram or TikTok or whatever the latest WooWoo is. And I guess Airchat might be the latest WooWoo. That's borrowing from a commercial I saw at one point. That's just like, oh, what's the next thing? Anyway, Airchat's the next WooWoo. And but I do think, and I'm not sure if this user experience. I have my own ideas, and eventually I want to build something to kind of walk the walk here. But yes, there is something very magical about a dinner party, going in a room with a bunch of people and chatting. But I do think that social media has an opportunity to replicate more that experience of a small group dinner. Obviously, I don't think it's ever going to replace that. Maybe some metaverse things when we're all in VR or whatever can come close, but um, the experience of a long meandering dinner with friends is quite magical. And I and many others obviously have found social media quite wanting from that perspective. So, and basically it's given us all these mental health issues, and the social dilemma did a good job highlighting all the perils of traditional Web 2 things. So yeah, I'm curious if y'all get in here. I think yeah, you can ask for invites from friends. I think this will go pretty quickly if it follows a trajectory that a lot of these others have gone. And so yeah, you can follow me at will.impact is my username in there, and I'd love to interact with you. In fact, yeah, let me actually see if will.impact will work on. Yeah, here I am. So yeah, I have 2 followers, and I'm following 2 people, and I've listened 4 times apparently, or people have listened to my things 4 times. I'm actually not sure which one that is. So yeah, I'd encourage you to check it out, and I'd love to get your feedback. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Have a great rest of your week. All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I wanted to just let you know before you go that if you're interested in following along with any of the content I write, go to wclittle.com. There I have a newsletter that you can subscribe to, and just subscribe to any topic that I write about, whether it's Web3 or health science or software development or any of the miscellaneous new buzzwords like generative AI and other things that come up. And you can also publish. That new platform is called Satchel. We're letting in more folks into the beta. Think kind of like a Substack, Medium, Mirror, WordPress, but it has some new features that are coming that I think you're going to be really interested in. Also, if you're building a startup, I have a portfolio company called Startup Rocket. StartupRocket.com gives you coaching frameworks and different guides so that you have an understanding about how to build a startup in a scalable way, and you can bring in your team and your mentors and advisors and potential investors. So we've built that platform and use it internally at my venture capital group, Proto Ventures, and I would highly recommend it for you. All right, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Have a great rest of your week.